world, young people are coming together for a celebration of freedom. In Yangon, they're discussing ways to end human trafficking. In Bangalore, they're forming a human chain. And in Dubai, they're singing songs about freedom. Students around the globe are raising awareness about modern-day slavery. Welcome CNN's special coverage of My Freedom Day. Thank you so much for being with us. I'm Zain Asher, and as we've been telling you, the children around the world are speaking with one voice. In Abu Dhabi, Hong Kong, Sofia, Bulgaria, Muranga County, Kenya, all over the world, they are saying no to modern-day slavery. They're raising awareness about the horrors of human trafficking, and they're desperately trying to find ways to help the victims. And in fact, social media has been a big part of their efforts. In fact, 7,500 tweets with the hashtag #MyFreedomDay in just 24 hours. And as these students discuss what freedom means to them, let us keep the momentum going here at CNN, because our reporters are fanned out all across the globe, talking to students, desperately trying to raise awareness and sort of see just how energized these kids are. Our Lynda Kinkade is live for us in Atlanta, and Rafael Romo is in Mexico for us. So Lynda, just talk to us about where you are, because Atlanta, the problem of human trafficking in Atlanta is vast. So for these kids where you are, it's not just about human trafficking in some far off, distant part of the globe. It is happening right here in their communities.
Yeah, that's right, Zain. Here in Atlanta, human trafficking is considered a major problem. While it is difficult for authorities to quantify the scale of the problem, when you look at the studies that do exist, it is a major problem. It is considered one of the worst cities in America for human trafficking and for modern-day slavery. Whether it be sex trafficking, where women or children are forced into prostitution, or modern-day slavery, where you have people forced to work in factories or as servants, domestic servants, with little or no pay. Now, here at the Atlanta International School, students are at the forefront in the fight against human trafficking. They actually have a club that focuses on this issue. It has existed for about 4 or 5 years. These students in the 6th grade, and right across the school today, students are decorating plates. My Freedom plates. They're trying to decorate the plates and describe what freedom means to you. I'm going to sit down with a few of these students here. We've got William and we've got Sandro. Just describe for us what you've drawn and what freedom means to you.
So right here, I've drawn a flower with mountains in the background. And I think freedom is nature because it's like water, and water flows wherever it wants to. And so freedom and your goals in life can take you wherever, just like water.
Excellent. And you're 11 years old, right?
Yes.
And we also have Kate over here. Just describe what you've drawn. What does freedom mean to you?
Freedom means to me that you get an education and you have food and water, and that you are happy. And human trafficking is very bad because people are forced to do things that they don't want to do, and they're like slaves, and it's really bad.
Excellent, Kate. Good answer. You're 12 years old, and I'm just going to swing around here. We've got William and Elise. I'll just stick in here. William, just explain what you've drawn. This looks like someone skiing.
Yeah, so I wrote that I think freedom is doing whatever makes you happy. And that's a picture of me skiing because I really like to ski, and I think that when people are kidnapped to be in human trafficking, that they are not allowed to do what they want to do that makes them happy. They are forced to do whatever the person that kidnapped them tells them to do, and I think that's unfair.
Good answer. And Elise, what have you drawn? Describe what freedom means to you.
I've drawn a mountain here. It shows to do what you want to do and be able to follow your dreams, because I really like the mountains and nature and discovering new things. So I think that's very important. I also draw the world to show as a community how we have to stay strong together and fight against human rights and how people have been untreated unfairly. And I think people should learn about it, like young children, because it's really not fair. And we are all humans and we should all be treated equally.
Some very well thought out answers by these students who are about 11 and 12 years of age. And this activity is happening right across the school. Every grade from kindergarten to year 12 are getting involved. And these plates are going to be put throughout this auditorium in here. You can see them on the stage up there. This will be the focus tonight of a panel. We're going to see speakers from the FBI, a special agent. There's going to be a sex trafficking victim and also an advocacy group that will talk about and discuss this issue amongst the community. This will be packed. About 400 people are expected tonight.
Lynda, I cannot get over just how mature those kids are. One child basically saying that freedom is like water. Water should be allowed to roam wherever. And the idea that human beings, we're all equal and therefore we should all be treated equally. Wise words from those children. As I mentioned, we have reporters fanned out across the globe. We're going to get to our Shasta Darlington, who's live for us in Rio, in just a moment. But first, I want to go to our Rafael Romo, who's live for us near Mexico City. So Rafael, you know, these kids, I see the kids with their signs behind you. These kids, when they learn about the fact that there are other children their age around the world who don't necessarily have the same freedoms that they enjoy, it really does put things in perspective for these young kids.
It sure does, Zane. And what students here are telling me is that I may not be able to end slavery around the world, but I can do something in Mexico. And we are in the city of Toluca. This is near Mexico City. This is the Autonomous University of Mexico State. And these young people behind me are going to the law school here, and they wanted to make a stand. And as a matter of fact, this is one of the activities for My Freedom Day today. They are right now in the middle of the 45-minute Stand for Freedom activity. And take a look at some of the signs that they have put together, some of them in Spanish, some of them in English, but there are quite a few that caught my attention. For example, this one says, "Freedom is to live without fear. My Freedom Day." There's another one here. This one's in Spanish. It says, "I decide to live without human trafficking. My Freedom Day." There's another one here that a student wrote. It says, "Breaking the silence makes me free. Raising my voice for those who cannot do it brings us freedom." And you get the idea that these students understand exactly what this is about. And the reason why they're standing here is because they want to remember the 45 million people today in the world that are suffering some sort of modern-day slavery. One of the people who are here is a leader of an organization that is very aptly called Without Human Trafficking. And allow me to introduce to you Andrea Bravo. She's one of the leaders. Andrea, tell us, why was it so important for you to be standing here today?
It's very important for us young people to bring freedom to all the people in the world, especially to those 45 million people that are suffering, that don't have the choice to live the life as they want to live it, and to decide what to do, who to live it with.
And Andrea is a member of an organization, Zane, that is very interesting because it's composed of very young people such as herself. And what they do is they go around the country to raise awareness about human trafficking. Tell us specifically what kinds of activities you do when you go to those schools.
So we make workshops with the kids, where it's young people, especially mid-school and high school. And we tell them what is human trafficking and how they can protect themselves from human trafficking.
Thank you very much, and congratulations on what you do. Again, this is the Autonomous University of Mexico City. It's one of the most important in the countries. We also have students at a second campus at the University of the Valley of Mexico. They have put together an art exhibit showing pictures to make people understand that this is still happening today and that human trafficking is a worldwide problem. Zane, back to you.
Rafael, I really love seeing those children come together for something so positive. With one act, you really can change the world. I want to go now to our Shasta Darlington, who's live for us in Rio, and she has been talking to students all day. Shasta?
Zane, I'm here at the American School in Rio de Janeiro, where the campaign was really led by the high school students. So I'm going to let them tell you all about it. Let's start right here with Caroline. What were the highlights of the day?
Well, I feel like the two most memorable events today were definitely the Stand for Freedom, where we stood on this very field for about 45 minutes in honor of those who can't stand for their own rights, and the mural that we created down by the cafeteria, where we painted our hands and left a handprint on a wall to really support the victims of slavery. And I feel like these were the two most unifying and impactful events that we had here at ERJ, for sure.
And Marion, you've been preparing for this for a while now. I'm sure you also learned a lot while you were doing that. What do you think was the thing that most surprised you?
Well, like you said, there's a lot to learn about slavery, but the main thing I learned is that every material that we use so casually has an enormous story behind it, and it's very important to learn about that story and comprehend it.
And for example, in the case of Brazil, they estimate that there's some 161,000 people in slavery creating products like clothes, like the beef that we eat at our table. Do you think that this is something that you were able to get across to the other students?
I think that it was for most students who are interested in it, but it is kind of hard to attract people who eat meat and who wear clothes to listen to that kind of stuff.
And Emma, for you, I know you were also very involved in this. It is one day, so you've done a lot, you've raised awareness, but what would be your message for other students and for people to sort of keep this message alive?
Yeah, I think today we learned especially the power of social media with our Snapchat geofilter, Instagram posts, and a video we're making. That's allowed us to spread our message a lot further than we initially thought we could. And that, you know, we've learned that you don't have to be a certain age, you don't have to have a certain amount of money to make a difference. If you have that motivation, you can do it, as I hope we did here today. And I hope students understand that we as teenagers, we tend to think, oh, our parents and our teachers, they're taking away our freedoms. But we can think what we want, we can say what we want, and we can choose our own paths in life and have the opportunities to get there. So, I mean, we have to appreciate that and realize that people don't have that, and we have to fight for those people.
Well, thank you to the three of you for participating in this and really getting the word out. Zane, this has been a great day here at the American School, and like they said, they really hope they got the word out. Back to you.
Yeah, it's great just seeing those students really understand just how privileged they are, that they have the freedoms, that they have freedom of expression, they have other freedoms that they're enjoying, and it's wonderful to see them raise awareness. All right, Shasta, Darlington live for us there, Rafael, Romo, and Lynda, Kinkade. Thank you all for joining us this hour. I want to let you guys at home know that you too can be a part of My Freedom Day. All you have to do, very simple, just post a photo or video on social media explaining what freedom means to you. I've had lots of tweets on this issue. All you have to do is use the hashtag MyFreedomDay. And of course, you can also check out our latest on our live blog at CNN.com. We'll have much more ahead for My Freedom Day as people around the world take a stand. We're going to be talking with someone who has been on the front lines in the fight against human trafficking. That story next.
To me, freedom is when